guys, this is Spiky Goo, and this is a tutorial on how to make World of Goo styled assets in GIMP, GNU image manipulation program. So today we're going to be making something that looks like terrain from level Small Divide, for example. So first, I'm going to open one of those, the terrain from Small Divide as a reference, just the image of it. So this is the kind of style we're trying to replicate here. Of course, you don't have to open a reference image if you don't want to, but I'm just going to open one for the sake of this tutorial. So first, what we're going to make first is the general shape of it, and it's going to be like the general brown color. So I'm going to take the color picker tool, and I'm going to select just this, the lighter brown here, and you'll see why it's a lighter one in a second, just in the middle, like where it's the lightest. So we click to select it. So now we're ready to actually make the new file. So we'll go to File, New. You can change the width and height to whatever. I like to put mine at 1920 by 1080, so that I just have a full canvas to work with, not necessarily going to fill it all. So what we're going to do is, it creates a white layer here. You just want to press this X in the bottom corner to delete it. That's what I just did. And then we're going to create a new layer that actually has transparency. So we're going to press this button, create new layer, and we'll call it main for now, and press OK. Okay, now we're going to use a path tool to sketch the main shape of it. So go to this tool right here. It should be right next to the text tool. So start at the bottom. We can click and drag. So click and drag. It can be outside of the thing a little bit. You can click and drag like that, and it'll make the point for a curve. So we'll want to put ours like about here probably, and then to make the next point, you can click and drag again right here, and you can adjust the curve to your liking. You can kind of see it right there. Like that. And if you want to move the points after you place them, you can by just click and drag like that. I'm just gonna make a path like this. If you have trouble with this, then just watch carefully. You just have to click and drag it, like, and you don't release until you're sure that that's the curve you want. Because if you look, you can change the angle of the curve, or like this, but it only grabs one of them, and it ends up being all weird like that. So I just recommend just making them and moving the points if necessary, but not these, because it kind of messes it up. So now when you have the shape you want, press Fill Path, and it'll fill it with the color we selected. Of course, if you don't have a reference image, you can just pick whatever color you want, like this. So yeah, and then I will exit out of this. You can exit out of the path tool, click any other tool to make the path go away. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is the grass. So if we go back to our reference, we see the grass up here. Get the color picker tool and select this green color. Then go back to our image. We're going to create a new layer. We'll call it grass. And then we'll go to the path tool and start sketching the shape of the grass. Again, you can press Control Z if you mess up. And that'll just undo the last curve you placed. And as you can see, for this grass, you'll probably want to do like a wave pattern, as you can see, like this. So, if we stop here and we don't connect the curve like we did with this one, because you probably just had 2 points down here that aren't connected, but it worked just fine for the dirt. But for the grass, if you press fill path right now, it'll just put a straight line between the start and the end, which we probably don't want if the whole curve is within the borders of the canvas. So to connect them, if you have all your points and you just want to connect it, make sure the ending point is selected, and then you want to hold Control, and then click on the beginning point, and it'll connect it with an actual curve. Now we can press fill path, and it'll look as we expected. So exit out the path tool. And then we'll go back to our reference to see what to add next. So, I'm probably going to add the outline of the dirt next, which is this like dark part around the outside of the dirt. So we'll add a new layer called outline. And we can start tracing the path of this darker part here. Don't select the color from here though. Instead, just click on this little mini black and white square thing, and it'll make it select black. And I know this isn't actually black; it's just dark. But we're gonna lower the opacity so that it just makes it darker, not completely black. So we'll start making the path. And again, if you go to this side and there's no more to make on this side, and you want to start again on the other side, then you can click on this point on the other side, and it'll make it from that point. So, then we probably want to start going down. Okay, now we can connect it here. Although we don't have to because it's outside the canvas borders. And then but if we press fill path, you'll notice that it's not what we want. We want what's outside of this, not what's inside. So we can undo that. Instead, press the button selection from path right above fill path. This will create a selection from our path. And we don't even need the path tool anymore. We can navigate to a different tool. Now we have a selection. So what we want to do with this is press Control I. And as you can see, now the borders are selected as well, and this means we just inverted the selection. So now if we fill it, we can just go to the fill tool and then select anywhere within the selection, so just right here. It fills the outside part. So now do Control-Shift-A to deselect everything. But now it's filling the entire canvas. We just want it to fill the other parts that overlap with the dirt layer, the main layer. So to do that, we need to go to this magic wand tool, which is actually the fuzzy select tool, and it will select like shapes that you've drawn by the pixels. So now you can click anywhere outside of the brown dirt. However, you have to make sure you're on the main layer, so select the main layer over here. Now you can just click outside of where the dirt is, like right there. Then navigate back to the outline layer. Once you have the outline layer selected again, press the delete key, and this will delete everything that's outside of the main layer. That's part of the outline. Now we can press Control-Shift-A to get rid of the selection. Now we realize it's overlapping the grass, and that's going to be a problem because the outline should not overlap the grass as seen here. So to fix that, click and hold on the outline layer over here, and then you can drag it to where it's between the grass and the main layer, and then drop. And now it's just changing the order of the layers in which they're displayed. And if you can see here, it's completely black, but we want it to be like brownish. So to fix that, we can lower the opacity slider right here to whatever you want, really. But I figure like for stuff like this, 60 works the best. As you can see, that's about as dark as we want it. Actually, probably like 70 is probably better. So it's starting to come together already. You might notice. So now, if we go back here, the next thing we're gonna do is this little dark part on the top of the grass. Again, if it's just something that's over another layer that makes it darker, don't select the color with the color picker. Instead, go to the black and white little thing here, because you probably want to use black for this kind of thing and lower the opacity like we did with this. So we'll create a new layer. We'll call it grass outline. Press OK. And then since we want this above the grass, we can drag it to where it's literally above the grass in the layer list. So now you can get the path tool and sketch how you want the grass top outline to look. This one should be pretty simple. Like, that's probably good. But since this isn't like a loop at all, if we fill this path, it'll not look at all how we expect. So we need to fill in, like, create curves for the part above here, because we want it to be on the top side only. So just like do this sort of thing, so that it's just like a blob up here, and then you connect the curve. Now we can fill it in, except this isn't what we want because we want just the selection. So selection from path, not fill path. Go to the fuzzy select tool, switch to the grass layer, and this time we want to remove what's outside of this grass and not add that to the selection. To do that, you can control click while holding control, and it'll just take the current selection and remove everything that's outside of the grass. So that's like another way to do it. Then go to the bucket tool, switch to the grass outline layer, and fill it in. Then press Control-Shift-A. So now we can lower the opacity on here. I'd say something like 50 probably works. Actually, probably lower a little bit, like 30. By the way, you can double click to enter a value, or you can just slide it around. But 30 is probably good for this. So now the next thing we probably want to do is the stripes. As you can see, there's a stripe design on this dirt layer. And then since it's just a darkening of the dirt, don't select the color. We just keep it with black. Add a new layer, call it stripes, and then move it. It should be between outline and main. Switch to the paths tool, and then this one is kind of difficult to get exactly right. The stripes can be however you want them to be. You can just make curves like this, and then once it goes outside the dirt, it can come back. And you can try to make them parallel. And that should be good. You can press and even if it does go outside of your layers, you can still press fill path. Like, I think we did that with the outline, actually. And then we can go to the fuzzy select, go to the main layer, click outside of it. So we select everything outside the main layer. Go back to stripes and then press delete. It'll delete everything outside of it, of course. Now we can do Control-Shift-A and then turn down the opacity of the stripes. I'd say something like 20 maybe. 30. Yeah, 30 is probably good for the stripes as well. So the final thing, if you'll notice, you're probably noticing like this kind of looks like something from the World of Goo beta. And that's because we haven't shaded it yet. We didn't add shading. It almost looks complete, but we have to add shading so it's more realistic. So to do that, that's a bit different. We're gonna add a new layer, call it shading. And we can make it go above the outline, I guess. It doesn't matter where it goes, just probably below the grass. Then switch to the main layer. Make sure you have black color also. Go to the fuzzy select tool and click inside of the dirt this time, not outside. So yeah. Now go back to the shading layer, and then go up to the top bar. Click edit, and then go down to where it says stroke selection, not fill selection, but stroke selection, and click it. So this window appears here. The only thing you should need to edit, I think, is the line width. And how big the line width is depends on how big your image is and how big you want, like how much shading you want, like just on the edges or to where it bleeds to the middle or whatever. You have to play with the values, kind of. Like, even I don't know what value I would put here, maybe like 30. And press stroke. Okay, this looks way too small. It should be like it should probably be around the same size as your outline. And that also reminds me of another thing. We should have deselected the grass. So go to grass with the fuzzy select tool still selected. And control click the green part. Now it'll just have the dirt that's underneath the grass. Now go back to the before you use stroke selection, you have to make sure you're on the shading layer. Press edit, stroke selection. I'd say like 50 is probably better for this. Like, you want something thick like that, maybe. So now you can press Control I to invert the selection, and then delete. So we delete everything outside of the dirt. Press Control I again, and it'll go back to the dirt, inside of the dirt. Go to the filters tab on the top. And then hover over the blur category, and then go to Gaussian blur. So the size X and size Y, you can change this slider to to your liking. So I think something around the same size as the stroke. Actually, no, probably smaller. So I did 50 for the stroke size. I'm probably going to do 30 for the Gaussian blur size. Press OK. Press Control-Shift-A to get the selection out of the way. So yeah, this I call this good. I usually don't add any shading on the grass because there really isn't any. So yeah, I guess there's actually one more detail, which is this like the goop that's dripping here. You can select this different brown color. Add a layer called like goop or whatever. Drag it to like I guess the top. Now you can make a path for this. Just like make the goop that's on here and then like that. Fill path. We can also make the spikes on the bottom. Just select a different tool and then go back to the path tool and then just do stuff like this. If you click without dragging on the path tool, it'll just make a point that's not curved. It'll be like a straight line, and just do like that. You should only use this if you're making like sharp things like these. And then you follow it over here to make like more little stalactites or whatever these are. So like that. Then you can fill the path, and it'll just fill it on top of what you already have on that layer. So yeah, that kind of makes these stalactites. If you want to get more detailed with them, you can. This is just for an example. Also, a lot of assets, not this one specifically, but a lot of times in World of Goo, there's like black goo on top of the grass. We can make a layer for that. We'll just call it goo. I know it's similar to goop, but I didn't know what to name these things. Make sure you have black selected and not that brown color, because this is usually just pitch black. Go to the paths tool and then sketch something. You don't even need a reference for this. There's some assets that have it, like I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's like some levels that have these. You can just reference those assets. Fill path, and then go to fuzzy select grass, click outside of it, go back to goo, delete, Control-Shift-A. And also we're not done with the goop yet, or the goo yet. Go to the paintbrush tool. I don't know why if it changes to anything else, just right click and go to paintbrush. Make sure you have the solid circle that's not blurry selected. And then you can change this size to like the perfect size, and you can put a few like circles and just click. This is probably a better way of doing this than the paintbrush tool, but whatever. And then you can decrease the size to make like some smaller blobs. Just like something like this. Make it even smaller. Before we end this, actually, you're gonna have to crop this. So you can go to image, and then crop to content. Now it's the right size. And then I recommend going to image and then image properties at the bottom. Make sure this isn't like, this shouldn't be more than 1024 by 1024, because that makes the game act strange sometimes, because it's like really big. It should generally, for this kind of stuff, be smaller than 1024 by 1024, and it's probably good. So now we can press, if if you want to work on this thing later, if you didn't finish it or something, like for future reference, you can press Control S, and it'll save an XCF file. I'll call it example1.xcf, and then save. But if you want to use it in your World of Goo level, you have to export it as a PNG. So you can do that by pressing Control-Shift-E, and then it'll be .png, and then you can just press export. Personally, I hate navigating the GIMP file manager, so you can just go to your own file manager, go to where you exported it, and then just bring it to whatever folder you need it in, like the level images folder or the folder for your level itself, whichever works. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I think this one turned out really well. I bet yours did too. If this tutorial helped, please like and subscribe. I might make this a series if you want. Like, if you want to see some other like types of assets other than terrain, or like different types of terrain, then like let me know. Just tell me that whatever you want to see made in World of Goo style. That's like a normal thing in World of Goo. Let me know in the comments, and I might make it in a future video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.